The assassination of Charlie Kirk is a tragedy, but it's also seemed to be a conspiracy, and it's similar to the John F. Kennedy assassination in Texas. They allege that Harvey shot him from up in the top floor of the library, when the actual thing is that somebody was on the grassy knoll over there by over the fence that shot Kennedy, and they're alleging that he's the guy that shot because he was on the roof and so on, and he was running away. But they had a marksman from a lower level with scope and rifle and also, and they coordinated the time because the security guard was watching his time a lot, and the time when they're gonna pop this guy, and so up on the roof now, he was paid to go up there by this guy in this yellow shirt that we saw in the passageway going up to go and do an activity up there. They're gonna take pictures from that height or something like that. But when he got up, the guy held him up and say, you know, you know, hold this gun here, put his fingerprints in it and all that, and then suddenly it went off. But the coordination was that at a certain time it would go off, and then the sniper downstairs gonna, fire the real shot. He had a dud, a kind of a blank shot. It was in the gun. And so the stairway he went up was locked, so he couldn't go down that avenue again. So he had to, uh, jump off the roof over there and run through the bush, and they had a car waiting that took him home. But he never went with a rifle. He never left with a rifle, and they just, the guys were up there, just throw it in the bush, and then they found it and they say, "Oh, we got his fingerprints and everything else." And notwithstanding the pictures that they showed early weren't definitive enough for you to identify him, but the parents did, and perhaps they would have continued on and on and on until this thing, mushroom into a civil war or whatever. So Mr. Kirk wasn't necessarily popular as they're trying to make it appear. He might have had an ambition that he wanted to be vice president and president, but he had so much baggage with all these discussions he had with these young people because every time you go on a campus, there's a long line of people that question him. They find his concepts are real strange and so on. Um, so he thinks that you basically don't have to have an education um, and not going through with a scam, but you can be a dentist or an attorney or some nurse or somebody without going to college. Now Bill Gates and Zuckerberg, they dropped out of school, but they were lucky. They're opulent and so on, and he got people to write books for him, like how they got people to work computers for them, and he's a goal getter, go getter, and you out there talking and so on, and you amass 100 million, you hire some people, and you going on and so on. But his movement wasn't necessarily popular on the campuses. The administrations didn't like it, and the students were opposed to his views. So um, I don't know who really engineered this conspiracy, but I don't think that this guy is that smart to really, pull that shot off. I mean, he's lame. He has a physical impediment. Now, I'm sure that it also has something to do with his brain. When you look at him, he don't look like he's kind of like straight, and there's no evidence of him playing with guns. In some rifle club, shooting marksmanship and so on. So this guy was set up, and I think that if he has a good attorney, he's gonna walk. Um, if they don't kill him, yeah, because um, just like the Oklahoma bombing and the 911, these killings generally shock the nation, and people start to pray and start to come together and all that stuff. And in these times with the financial um, collapse on looming, folks would love a little respite. Now, I don't think Mr. Trump had anything to do with this, or Mr. Vance, or none of those people, but you know, um, people do stuff.